Hello, and welcome back. I'm back from my weekend trip, and I didn't plan anything out. Um, Putting a few things away at the moment. Um, it's head empty cooking. Head empty cooking today. I've got a thing I want to break into and see what it looks like, and I will show you. I'll show you that right now. This thing right here. It's the color of a butternut squash. It certainly isn't the shape of one, and it's got these little funny bumps on it. I'm pretty sure it's a hybrid crossbreed between some kind of squashes. I want to break it open and see what it looks like. Maybe it'll be tasty-licious. Maybe it'll be rock hard and inedible. Maybe it'll be bitter and poisonous. Came out of home garden. Not my home garden. Came out of a friend's home garden. As a volunteer from some seeds that got mixed into the compost. So we don't even know what originally it was. It looks to me like a crossbreed. So I guess I'm going to break into that and find out. If it's good, then I'll make that the centerpiece of my head empty cooking. If it's not, then I guess I'll throw it away because it'll have been cut and can't be very decorative at that point. So that's the initial plan. We're putting odds and ends away though, because I left out quite a few things. Well, it's all clean. It's all clean dishes. I just sort of left them waiting for me to come back. Unput away. So I get to fun of putting them away now. And you can, I can stand and talk to you a little bit. I had a very nice trip. Got to see my parents. They're pretty far away, so I don't visit them very often. Ooh, that one has something goopy on the bottom. Interesting. Here, this is my latest acquisition. My latest acquisition. I got a pizza stone for $3, and I went and looked it up, and it's like a $60 pizza stone because this is some sort of designer brand. You can't see it. There's a stamp up here. We'll play with that at some point, I guess. Gotta check out those thrift stores. They slap stickers on things without really checking in detail. They don't know what they got. Okay, that's all those dishes put away. So let's. Oop! I never adjusted the brightness. Hold on. I'm all flustered. I always feel like I lose a day to travel, and then everything's thrown off because the travel day just kind of disappears in my mind. Okay. So, this guy. We're going to find out what it looks like in there. That's the plan. Oh, he's very hard. He might be too hard to even attempt. Stem is like a rock. Oh. I'm going to immediately give up to avoid hurting myself trying to get into this thing. It is so hard, the knife won't even really bite. I think I would need a saw to get in here. Which I have. We could try it with the saw. Oh, God, it's so hard. No. Okay. Well, question answered. Definitely not an edible gourd. It's too hard to cut, even. So that guy is nixed. Oh well. We'll never find out if it was delicious because it's keeping its secrets from us. Ooh, that leaves me with true head empty. What have I got? What can we make? Probably going to be something simple. Probably going to be... Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start throwing stuff together. Let's see. I'm just reviewing what I've got, and I'm catching... Some things are catching my eye. And we can combine that. We can do this. We can do that. We've got... shrimp fries. We've got cheese. We've got tomatoes with jalapenos mixed in. We've got andouille. We've got eggs. God, we've got the red hot dogs. We've still got some banana ketchup. Could today be the day? Evaporated milk. I don't think I have evaporated milk. But maybe. I have yogurt. That probably would be what I would use in its place. Okay. Noodles, tomatoes, carrots, onion, garlic. No carrots, actually. There's carrots in the picture. What are those? That's carrots. Okay. I think I'm not really gonna follow a super close recipe for this. Spaghetti. I have spaghetti. So I'm looking at Filipino spaghetti. Do I have a tomato paste? Don't have a tomato paste. Hot dogs, carrots and red peppers. Okay, I've got a bell pepper. I've got some carrots. Ground pork. That one I cannot supply on short notice. It's supposed to be like a meaty sauce, right? So if I a piece of frozen veal, we've got I've got ham, I've got bacon. Garlic, onion, Okay, well, I'm gonna start making stuff up. We're gonna start making stuff up because I don't really have a solid plan. I don't have all the ingredients for following an actual solid recipe. So instead, we will just make stuff up. Let's get out some very rolly carrots. Don't roll away carrots. Some purple carrots. Oop. That guy's gone fuzzy. A non-fuzzy pepper. One of my peppers has gone fuzzy on me. Odds and ends. Problem with leaving stuff in when I go away, I lose track of it. I'm gonna throw some of those guys in because we've got to use those up because they're still hanging around in the fridge here. And I want the tomato, and I just picked up some bacon, some irregular bacon. Irregular bacon. This is actually bacon ends because it's the cheapest part you can get of the bacon. And I'm going to start with those guys and get them rendering in that pan over there. They're going to need to go in the different packaging anyways, so. So when you make a bacon, there's these funny bits on the end that they just kind of. This is where it was hung. So there's holes running right through it. There's sort of a big fatty cap bit. And they sell these at a discount at the smokehouse. And I just kind of whack a chunk off. You're not going to get nice slices of bacon off of this. But if you just want bacon that's like in a recipe, in a mix, that's the way to go. I'll put that back in the fridge for now, but those are going to have to be taken out and transferred into freezer packaging because it's too big for me to use all at once. And this end bit is a lot of fat, so it's probably going to be all the fat for our dish right here. I did not cut myself, but I did slip a little bit, which suggests that my knife is dull. So yeah. Got him. Glad to see those guys are still around. Not. So we're going to give this a very mincy mince because I want the fat, especially in the fattier pieces here, to really render out to provide us with the fat for everything else. And then we will mince up our other vegetables while this is getting started. And it should be rendered enough to get them in the pan with it by the time we have them diced up. So I'm starting with I'm starting to talk with a mirepoix, a bacon mirepoix. So actually, the red hot dog. I'm dynamically changing my mind even as I'm prepping ingredients. The downside of getting bacon end pieces is that the smoked outer layer is a little bit tough on account of having been smoked. Okay, let's get that into our pan. We shan't need any more fats with that quantity of bacon in there. But the fats need to be rendered and liquid before we throw any vegetables on top of it. So get them in there on a medium low, just to get them started. And then we'll move on. I've got some purple carrots here. Picked these up from the farmer's market before I left. As you can see, they're orange on the inside. Purple's only skin deep. Take the little tip off. They're these cute little fat little carrots. I love these little pudgy carrots. Oh, they're yellow right in the middle too. So we've got all three carrot colors in one with these carrots. That's nice. I don't know that there's anything really different about purple carrots aside from the color compared to orange carrots. I suspect there's a slight difference in the nutrient content because purples tend to be rich in nutrients in plants. But the fact that it's only skin deep means there's not going to be a huge difference. I know the yellow ones are quite a bit sweeter than your typical orange carrot. I also believe I've heard that the purple ones are a more ancestral form of carrot. Although I would have assumed that ancestral carrots would have been white, because most roots are naturally white because there's no reason for the plant to put pigment into the root. I'm not going for a real even mince here. I expect this will be in there long enough that they'll kind of soften up. In fact, the goal is for these to be in there long enough to soften up. So the irregular size will give us some slight variation in textures without having pieces be crunchy. I say mirepoix. I'm gonna use that bell pepper. So we're actually looking at more of a cross between a mirepoix and a Trinity. The bell pepper needs to get used up as well. I was going to use a poblano. There was a poblano in there, but when I flipped it over, the bottom had gone off. Which again, that's the danger of not using up all your foods before you leave on a trip. This pan's not heating up super fast. Okay. Carrots. Look like candy corns. They look like little candy corns. I like that. Oh, I should make candy corn. I should make candy corn this year for Halloween. I love candy corn. Everyone loves candy corn. It's the most universally beloved of all the Halloween treats. These are some garlic scapes, the same garlic scapes actually. I've been shocked at how well they've held up in my fridge. I thought I was going to have to rush to use them, but then they just kept being perfectly good. They are getting a little old finally at this stage, but these have been in there for 2 months. And all they're really showing is slight drying at the cut end and slight browning at the tip of the flower. And that's it. And that's it. I'm amazed that they've held up that strongly. Because I haven't done anything special with them. They've just been sitting in my crisper. So the little brown tips on the flowers there, we're gonna snap those off because I don't want the little brown part. But below that, they're in great shape still. You can't even get these anymore this time of year. Not fresh ones, because they only come up in the spring. Okay, those will give some garlickiness to our eventual dish. Ooh, I don't have any yellow onions. I only have white onions and a small red onion. I'll have to go buy onions at some point. I guess we're going with white onion. Megs, how do you do? Hello. Your kitchen is destroyed. Day 1 of demo. Well, I wish I could say the same, because I'd love to be having a kitchen upgrade. My kitchen's the same as it was, the same as it always was. Wow, that's a juicy onion. Welcome in, welcome in. People have been watching, but it's been real quiet in here. It's just been me chattering away. Water leak destroyed 2 cabinets. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. That's the wrong reason to have renovations. Well, I'm head empty cooking today. Although I've started myself down a path. So we're not head empty at this stage. I had a mystery gourd I tried to cut into, and it repelled my knives. So I decided that it's probably not edible and gave up on it. Well, I'm glad you have a nicer kitchen, even though it's coming about from an unfortunate starting point. That is always an exciting development. Wow, we're having a little bit of a blown out screen today. Let's see, carrots, onions, garlic scapes. We can't use the poblano. Scraps bowl. Can't use the poblano. We're going to use this red pepper, who's looking a little sad on this side, but he's not looking sad everywhere. But still got to get him used. Ooh, he has a spot there. Hopefully he's not creepy on the inside. That would be really unfortunate. We're going to hopefully open this up and he's going to look fine. He looks well enough. We're going to use half. I didn't use up every last thing in my kitchen before I went on my trip. And I am now attempting to... I did go buy some new stuff, but we're attempting to use up some of the things that were left behind. There's a little bit of dirt on my pepper from having grown in an actual garden. If you missed where we're going with this, I don't know where we're going with this, but we have bacon on medium-low on the stove, getting its fat rendered out. And I'm dicing up some kind of combination or hybrid between a sofrito, a mirepoix, and a Cajun Trinity. It's somewhere in that realm, and I'm making apparently quite a lot of it. I hadn't intended it to be such a huge pile when I started, but we're making quite a lot of it, which means it's going to be the bulk of whatever we end up cooking here. Although, if I really let it sit and bruttle away on its own, we can get rid of a ton of the volume, and then it can only be a strong flavor component instead of a major substance component. And there's the ad break. If you're seeing an ad break, then you're not hearing me say this. If you're not seeing an ad break, thanks for subscribing. Okay, we're going to throw some celery in here as well. Because there's some celery in the fridge. And I'm going for broke on this one, I guess. Although, we're only going to throw in one stalk of celery because there's quite a lot of substance here. Take the little dry tip off. Split and split. It certainly smells very bacony in here. I stopped at, if you're ever in the Wittenberg area, which I had to pass through on my trip, Wittenberg, Wisconsin, check out Newski's Applewood Smoked Meats. They're a meat smokery. You can get their packaged products all over the place, but the actual location, the fresh at the location is just, oh, it's so nice. And you can get all sorts of irregular and weird things there that they don't send out, such as the bacon ends that we're using. Okay, I want the bacons to be firmly at the bottom. Let's pop ourselves over to the stove. I'm going to put this in slowly and kind of sprinkle it around because I don't want the bacons to ride up on the vegetables. I want them to stay at the bottom for a while yet. So I want the vegetables kind of evenly distributed across the top. And if I just do a big old dump, that can make them ride up. Plus, this way I can get the vegetables sort of mixed in with each other without having to use the spatula, which definitely would cause the bacon to ride up. We have a lot of vegetables here. Okay. Okay, well, I've got a ton of vegetables here, but that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And we're going to salt the top pretty generously to start drawing a lot of moisture out of our vegetable blend here and get the steam moving. Okay, that is going to have to sit and do its thing for a while. And actually, I'm going to put the lid on to get it started and really get it sort of steamy. Although we do want to evaporate that water off later, so. So we can't leave the lid on forever. Okay, so we're doing a sofrito with bacon. We're cooking it down. That is the basis of a sauce. We can use that as a basis of a sauce. Which means I now have leeway to construct a sauce. Celery in there. What do you think should I be making out of this? I got spaghetti out. I was almost going to make Filipino spaghetti. And then I kind of didn't do that. We're making a sauce. What does Google say? We don't need that recipe anymore because we're not following the recipe anymore. Sofrito. Base sauce, onions, garlic. Garlic. There's garlic scapes in there. But I will need to do some fresh garlic, which I still have. Yes, we still have some fresh garlic in here. Okay. I can get my paper towel handy because I'm going to wipe stuff off. So if you've got any suggestions or ideas, or you want to see me do something today, today's the day to throw stuff at me. For sure. I've got these. Today is the day. Where's my garlic tube? Garlic tube? Garlic tube. You're supposed to be right there. Right there. Did you? Well, that would be unfortunate if that escaped. Hold on, let me... Garlic tube. Where did I put you? That's not ideal. That thing does not travel around the house at all, so not being able to just immediately pick it up is not great, because it does not have places that it can hide. My number one fear is that it fell into the recycling bin and got taken away. Bookwoman, welcome in. So far, we have on the go here bacon, Newski's bacon. I picked up some bacon ends. Carrots, onions, celery, and bell pepper, and some garlic scapes. And then I was just about to add some garlic to it, at which point I could not find my garlic peeling tube. If you've got any ideas for what I should cook today, today's the ideal day to just throw stuff at me. Huh. Garlic tube is absent, which has me extremely worried that it fell into the recycling bin and got recycled. I mean, yeah, there are other ways to do it, but I would hate to lose that thing. I use that thing all the time. I know how to peel garlic without it. That's not the point. Eh. Gonna have to do a big old search. We're gonna have to do a big old search and look for it. But I've already voiced my concerns. I'm concerned that it got knocked off into the recycling. Because the recycling bag is near where I keep the dry dishes. It's not like I keep the dry dishes in the recycling bin, but they're nearby, so that would be the logical place for it to have fallen, if it did. It also could have just gotten shuffled behind something that I'm not seeing it, which is why I've got to do a search. But I don't want to do a search now, because I'm trying to put on a brief show. So that's where we are. We're making a sofrito. Any ideas what to do with the sofrito? It's sort of a hybrid. It's a hybrid between a sofrito and a Cajun Trinity. It's already got quite a bit of bacon in it, so I don't necessarily want to add another fatty meat to it, but it's a possibility, I suppose. We're gonna do these this way, where I go. Smash and mince. Okay. Gumbo is a possibility. Pasta sauce is also a possibility. Probably not going to do anything with a big chunk of meat, but I've got some potatoes. I've got some eggplants. We can't eat that squash, otherwise that squash would have possibly been part of it. I've got a pumpkin here, which itself needs to be tested for edibility. I've got this gigantic daikon. Okay. Our sofrito. It's getting nice and steamy on the top. So I will add my garlic and I will stir it around. We need it to start losing moisture, not just retaining it. Oh, did I have the camera over here the whole time I was mincing garlic? Oh well. Like now. There's also quite a lot of sofrito, although it needs to be cooked down yet. So it will definitely shrink, but there's quite a bit of it. We ended up with more than I think I was expecting. So adding more vegetables might not be the best idea. A starch would complement it, I think. A slightly leaner meat could complement it because there's a lot of bacon in it, but it's mostly bacon fat. It's a very fatty part of the bacon. So no thickeners in it at all right now. If I wanted to make it into sort of a soupy thing. What else have we got going on in here? Got odds and ends. Just grabbing odds and ends. We could thicken it with some starch and make it into like a soup. I just got welcomed back to my own chat room. Gonna add some spices to it, but we're gonna play it safe on the spices to start with and go with. Nope. I've done this one too many times and my onion powder has become steamed. Onion powder. The garlic powder is still nice and loose. And garlic powder. And paprika. And I say play it safe on those because all three of these are the powdered versions of vegetables that are already in there. So I'm just kind of amping up existing flavors. And a bunch of black pepper. And a bunch of black pepper. Now, I recently watched a video about garlic, and specifically about the various forms of garlic, from fresh garlic to powdered garlic to those pre-minced things that come in a jar. And one of the takeaways from it that I learned was that you should rehydrate your dried garlic to maximize its flavor. So don't just put it into something. Put it into something that either has some water in it, or make a point of wetting it in advance. There'll be plenty of water in here because we're sweating out these vegetables. But just for the future, make a note. Yeah, there's ample water in here from this slowly sweating vegetables. We've got this on medium-low. The bacon's looking a little underdone, actually, but this has got ages to think about itself before I want it. So, all these little middle garlics go away. Potato. Potato could be our starch. If I made like a soup. Pasta could be our starch. What do you think? Taking a vote. Potatoes, pasta, or rice? I could make it a poll. I don't know if anyone's gonna vote. Where's that poll? New poll. There, I've got a poll. If you're watching, vote in the poll. We have time to think about it. If you're not sure how to vote in the poll's at the top of the chat box. And it's fully anonymous to vote in the poll. So if you're a lurker and you're afraid of voting in the poll, don't be. It doesn't show up. Your name is not associated with it at all. Okay, this is getting pretty softened up. I kind of wish I would have done this in a larger pan. Then I could build on top of it. At the moment, if I add anything more to this, we're going to overflow it, which isn't the greatest thing. I think I'm going to use this. It's diced tomatoes with green chilies already in it. And the green chilies, based on the picture, are jalapenos. And also, it's best if used by today. So I'm going to use that today. So I guess we're committing to some sort of juicy tomato thing. I'm still torn between a more of a stew or more of a sauce. More of a stew or more of a sauce? What other odds and ends do I have? Okay. Okay, there's an idea. This is going to be tricky to utilize, but I forgot I had this, and I wanted to use it up. So we'll use this up. Okay. Because I don't want to add any more fatty proteins, but this is a very lean protein. This is a chunk of some haddock I picked up a while back. And if I make this into like a tomatoey fish stew, we're gonna jump up 2 sizes on my pot, on my cooking vessel. We're gonna go up two sizes on the cooking vessel. Okay. Spread all that back around. It's still having to render some. But okay. In that case, and since no one has voted on the poll, I'm going to cancel the poll. Delete poll. No one cared. In that case, potato is going to be my starch of choice because I'm going to make like a stew. I've got a couple of potatoes there anyways. Okay. Oh, I had the camera in the wrong spot for that part too. This guy just needs to be rapidly thawed. Part way. He needs a quick and dirty thaw. Jen, well, what's in progress? Over here on the stove, I've got a sofrito of bacon, garlic scapes, garlic, carrots, onions, bell peppers, celery, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, black pepper, and salt, which I am cooking down until it is jammy soft. I just a minute ago tried to do a poll, and nobody voted on my poll, of what starch I should include with this, because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to take this in the direction of a sauce or the direction of a stew. And while I was rummaging around, while I was rummaging around in the freezer, I came across this guy. This is the end of a big, awkward log of haddock. And since I found that, I was like, oh, I will use that. And that said taters. Potatoes was one of the options on the poll. The haddock says it wants to go with potatoes. So we're making like a stew thing. The fish here is rock solid frozen, and I didn't plan it out. So now I'm just putting it in a bowl of water and letting it loosen up. That's fine. It doesn't need to be thawed all the way through. It just needs to be thawed enough that I can get at it with the knife and break it into chunks. The magic pot? No, I don't think we're doing the magic pot today. I don't think we're going to use the magic pot today. I think we're going to do this right here in this pan, because I just transferred to a larger pan because now I've decided to make it more of a soupy thing. I'm calling it a. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're calling it. So I can put away. I got out a lot of odds and ends. I'll put the fish into the boiling liquid, and that'll cook it. Fish doesn't take very long to cook. Fish is a pretty light cooker. Do you have anything else I would throw in there? I do have some. I'm trying to avoid more fatty meats. I've got the red hot dogs, which I had originally pulled out because of thinking about Filipino spaghetti, which we ended up not going that direction. I've also got an andouille in here, and we could make it like a. You suggested a gumbo. Andouille would pull it in that direction. Although I would want to brown the andouilles. They would brown in this pan, which is fine because that pan is pre-greased from the bacon. The potatoes, I think, are going to go right in the mix and boil up. Because now I'm going to make this into a soupy thing. We're going to have to add a big chunk of broth to it. Do I even want to add the tomatoes now? I was going to use this canned tomatoes, because it's date is coming up. But do I even want to add the tomatoes? Because I have a tomato soup base, powdered soup base, that we could turn into the tomato element. Ordered a hero. I don't want to go anywhere, and the destroyed kitchen. Oh, well, explains why nobody voted in the poll. I made a poll and nobody voted in. I was trying to decide what starch to add. We've decided we're making some kind of a stew. So I've diced up the potatoes because I settled on that as the starch because I found some haddock that I want to use up. So we're going to make like a fish stew thing. And we're going to find out what that looks like. And I'm deciding whether I want to add some andouille to that or just keep it fish stew. And I will cut my third potato as well. You know, before I cut this third potato, which is now too late because I have cut the third potato. I've got a turnip here. I could have thrown turnip in as well, because that's another starchy root. Okay. I think we're zeroing in on a good idea. The starch from the potatoes will help thicken our soupy, stewy thing that eventually comes out of this. As will all the cooked down jammy bits in here. This is looking pretty soft. I can just about break the carrots with this soft-edged spatula, so that's a sign that they're getting broken down. The peppers are still a little bit, have a little bit of robustness to them. Okay. If I want this to go this direction, then I'm going to add some, it's already got a smokiness to it. So I guess we'll lean into that and give it some chipotle powder. And some smoked paprika to complement the existing smoke flavor from the smoked bacon. And I thought I would have to deglaze the pan at this point, but none of this stuff is sticking onto the pan. I'm getting a nice sort of greasy bottom where it's not sticking and it's also not pooling. I don't have excess fat, but I also don't have any sticking. But that means I'm not developing any fond for me to do a deglaze with. Okay. What do you think? What do you think? Throwing it back to you again. We have two choices of tomato. We have caldo de tomate con sabor de pollo, which is tomato bouillon with chicken flavoring, or we have petite diced tomatoes with green chilies, which would require us to cook them down a little bit more. This would just be a broth. We could also do both if you think that's a decent shout. I've also got fish stock concentrate, so we could lean hard on the fish stock part. Third option, fish stock. Jen likes the tomato stock concentrate. Well, how do you feel about fish stock concentrate? They're both quite salty, so I probably wouldn't want to add both unless I half each of them. Teaspoon into a cup of boiling water. Well, I've only got one vote, so I guess we're going to go with Jen. This stuff. What I'm going to do is not add this to boiling water, but I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of it directly to my pan. And then add the water on top of it. I like the idea of half with the fish stock. We'll see how much liquid this is. I think I'm going to add a scoop of the fish stock anyways. Because we're at the point where I want to add liquid to this. Now the heat needs to come up because now we're actually going to be doing some boiling. I will taste this, and we'll decide if I think it can handle the fish stock. Get out a little taster and just wow, that's rich. Oh, that's rich. Ooh, it's rich and smoky. It also needs some more liquid, so to avoid watering it down, I'm going to give it a teaspoon of the fish stock and another half of that scoop of water. Half a thing of water. Heat up. Get it real stirred in. Okay, this is not where I was expecting us to go today when I started grabbing stuff. Gonna be honest. I thought we were gonna, but when I started grabbing ingredients, I thought we were going to end up in the realm of a roast. Hi Nikoob. I don't know what you mean by that. Please clarify. And hi, it means son. Welcome in. How's it going? Hi Nikoob. Please be civil, or I will have to get rid of you. I'm not doing mom spaghetti. We're making a fish stew at the moment. And the fish part here is thawed out enough. Camera. Okay. English only, please. I'm not even going to attempt to figure out what you said, but this is an English only stream. Please. I need to be able to know what you're saying so that I can properly moderate you. Okay, well, I only popped them out for a couple minutes. But I do have English in my tags. You're welcome to stick around. You've only been bopped for a couple of minutes. Because I don't have time to be looking stuff up myself. I'm handling all the cooking around here. If I had a team of moderators, I could have them look stuff up and make sure it's above board. But I don't, and thus I don't have time for that. So sorry about that. You're welcome to stick around. We're making, ooh, it's boiling. We want to bring that off of a boil. We want that to be more of a simmer. What we're making, we've decided after some running about and being indecisive, we've settled on a fish soup of sorts. Into which I'm going to put my potatoes. They're going to cook right in there. They definitely are going to take some time. And I also I hope they thicken up. I hope they give off enough starch. We're using haddock because I have some on hand. I was rummaging around trying to head empty cooking around here, and in the process I spotted a bit of frozen haddock in the freezer. That's redundant. Frozen in the freezer. Of course it was frozen. It was in the freezer. So I spotted some haddock in the freezer. Up until I saw that, I was kind of not sure where we were taking this. That spotting that really solidified my plan here. And that also let us settle on potatoes as the starch, as opposed to rice or pasta that I was thinking about. Also means I'm not going to add. We still have a chance we could add some sausage to this, and have it be sort of a fish and sausage stew. I don't want to dig out any shrimp. That'd be, I think, the best accompaniment to the haddock is some shrimps. I would say something like this, any sort of neutral white fish would work. I didn't want to add a lot of extra fat to this because we started this with a bunch of bacon. So there's a bunch of bacon fat in here. So I wanted to make sure we added lean proteins going forward. And haddock is perfect for that. Those white fishes are pretty lean. I should taste our broth before we get too much further along as well to make sure we are tasting good. Yeah, I have sort of stumbled us in the direction of a Cajun, like a Cajun stew. Which is again not where I thought we were going to go when I started. When I started, the first place I thought we were going to go was a roast squash. That didn't work out. So I started building a sofrito with the idea of grabbing the red hot dogs and the cheese and making like a Filipino spaghetti. And then I stumbled along and we've settled on a potato fish stew. Jen has volunteered to be a mod. You know what? I'm not even gonna do trials on this. Can I do that right here from the panel? Manage suspicious user, Carbon Jen. I can't do it right here from the panel. I will take your volunteering under advisement, but I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I probably could figure out how to do it, but I keep having to. Well, actually, with the potatoes simmering, Jen's been here since the very start, so I definitely trust you enough. How do you create a moderator. Because I haven't had one up to this point, and Jen's almost always here. The first badge speaks for itself. I've never done this before because I don't have any. Oh, it's in the roles manager. Okay. You have the power. The suspicious power. Oh, I asked Google and it said open up the roles manager tab on the left side of the dashboard, which is right there, and just add them. So I did that. It makes sense that there is a shorthand command for it. I don't have many rules. I've never talked about the rules. I don't have many rules. Don't be a dick. English just so that we can understand. I don't mind if people don't talk in English, except that you can't. If you don't understand the language that's being spoken, you can't keep track of it. That's the only reason I don't. Also, I like to talk to the you people, and if you're you people, and if you're talking in something that's not English, I don't understand it because I'm monolingual. So yeah, I should lay down some rules at some point, probably. I figured I'd eventually just ask for volunteers for moderator when I got to the point where I couldn't handle a few chatters, but I didn't have to wait. We didn't have to wait. Great, up and coming. I'm trying to make grand plans. I'm trying to make grand plans for September because we have September coming up, and I want to take advantage of that. And I want to play some games. I just picked up a new TV, and also I have a capture card. Oh, Bookwoman, resubscribing with Prime. Thank you so much. 14 months. That is almost a year. Amazing. But I have a capture card and I have a Switch, so I could play games on the Switch and capture them without having to get a computer that can both stream and play games at the same time. And now I've also got a new TV. What do we think? Do we add sausage to this? The potatoes still need some time, so we've got. I guess I'm just going to keep throwing stuff at this. I guess we're just going to keep throwing stuff at this until it's done. That's not the knife I thought I had in my hand. This knife. I've got the andouille sausage. You don't need to look at the bruddling orange soup. I've got some andouille sausage in the package, so I'd be opening it up, but I've got it right here. So I guess I'll just take a third of it, throw it in there. Well, for andouille, you want to sear it off on the side to get some browning before it goes in the liquid. So if we take it like roughly there. Of course, all the fish is still on here, but roughly there. Take the little tied bit off the end. Oop. I also have some shrimp, but that would be another thing to thaw because they're in the freezer and they're also shell on. So to use them, I would have to thaw them and then shell them. Well, I suppose I could throw them in shell and just have shell on in the soup. That'd be a little bit awkward to eat, but it would work, and they cook very fast. That's the thing with the fish components of any of these things, is they cook very quickly. Okay, so some andouille sausage to kind of spice it up. It's going to add some more flavor. Will the prawns be deveined? They are pre-deveined. They're no, they're in there. I'm not going to pull them out unless I decide to. They are pre-deveined. Their shells are split, and the veins have been scooped prior to freezing. So yes. So in theory, we could just grab a couple of those and throw them right into the boiling broth, and they'll cook in place. Are you getting hot? You need to be hotter. Over here, I'm keeping an eye on my potatoes. I wouldn't add very many shrimps. They say ready to cook, but they still have the veins in them. Well, here, I'll show you the ones that I've got. We're gonna collapse the freezer. I gotta use stuff up. Ooh! I've got another possibility. I buy these big bags of frozen shrimps when they're on sale because they're kind of pricey when they're not on sale. So they're raw, deveined, easy peel. The easy peel means that they've split the backs. I don't have a lot of options because I'm so far from any oceans. So we get the ones that we get. But I get them when they're on sale because they're pretty darn expensive when they're not on sale. And I slap them in the freezer so that I can have them later. But I just saw I got another thing in here. I've collapsed the integrity of my freezer. Got a lot of stuff in here. I got to use stuff out of the freezer. This I completely forgot I had this. Crawfish. I completely forgot those were in there. They got themselves buried, even though this freezer's not that big. Now they're also frozen. But I agree. We have to use the crawfish. Now they're Louisiana style anyways. Which means they probably have seasoning on them. And it also says that they're cooked and frozen. So they won't need to be in there very long. They just need to be in there long enough to thaw out. Let's also see what they look like in here. I don't even remember why I bought these. Usually I buy things like that. Thank you. I put no spoilers on because as like a joke for food spoiling, ages ago, and you are the first person to ever comment on it. I thought it was a cute, clever, like, don't let the food spoil, and no one has ever commented on it. I also thought it was cute to have backseating allowed and no spoilers on the same thing, and a first playthrough no spoilers attracts. I hate to say it, but it attracts trolls as well. And I'm resistant to trolling. I just look at them sadly. Except for that guy who was here right when I was starting out, who figured out how to get under my skin, which was impressive. I was also hesitant to ban him at that point because I was just starting out, and I wanted those first couple of viewers to stick around. But woo-wee! Look at those guys. They are packed in there. I'm gonna prop them in the sink. I don't know how to use those. I haven't done any slow cooking on stream because it's slow. I've avoided doing actual slow cooking on stream. I try to keep these in a reasonable amount of time. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. I hardly ever spot those when they actually happen, but that one just happened. I don't call out the names of followers. If you're afraid of being called out, I don't call out the names of followers, or at least I try not to. Sometimes I'll read the name and be so impressed that I'll read it aloud, just without thinking. Aha! Let's get over to the thing here. So our sausage is developing its little brown spots, which is what we want over here, because it will not develop those in the soup, but they are a big contributor to our flavor. I also need to check the potatoes for doneness. They're firm, but they pierce easily with a fork. Let me grab one and give it a tester. Oh, we have an ad in progress. I always forget to call out the ads when they're coming up. Okay, potatoes are not overdone, but they are edibly done. These were red potatoes as well, so they're a waxy potato, which makes them sturdier for a cooking method like this. If you did this with a baking potato, one of those starchy potatoes, it would just disintegrate. You'd end up with mush. Ooh, that pan is hotter than I thought it was. So yeah, if you did that with a baking potato, you'd end up with just a mush, which wouldn't be ideal. All we've got left, we're gonna throw some frozen crayfish in there, and they will thaw out in the mix. Let's get them over here. Mush can be good, but I think, and if you really wanted to thicken it up, having the potatoes just disintegrate into mush would be a way to accomplish that. I do actually want to thicken this a little bit, so I'm going to get us out a little dish, a little bit of cornstarch, and some cold water. Not a ton of thickening, but a little bit of thickening. So what we're doing here, if you're not aware, I like to talk about the science of these things. We're hydrating the starch molecules in this cornstarch powder, so that when they are added to the hot liquid, they don't bind up into a clump, which we're doing right now. If you just put dry cornstarch directly into a boiling hot liquid, the starch molecules will try to bind to each other. They'll bind to the first thing they find, which is each other, and you'll end up with this little clump with dry cornstarch in the middle. Or more likely, you'll end up with a bunch of little clumps as it forms little balls. And that's not good eating. Okay, so these are whole crayfish, so they've got the head part on as well, which makes them a little bit awkward to use. You can eat the head part, kinda. See how hard they are to break. And then that would go in. And then I would save the head parts. I say we don't do that, and we just chuck them in with the chuck them in with all the parts attached, or as much of the parts attached as we've got. These are pre-seasoned as well, so they're going to be adding to our flavor. I'm only going to add. Oh, there's somebody's hand. We'll throw that in. They come apart from each other. Actually, I was worried that it would be just a big brick in here, but they come apart from each other pretty easily in the block here. And amazingly, the creators of this realized that they made a giant package that you would only use part of at a time, and they put a zipper strip. They put a zipper strip right at the mouth of the bag. A really cheap one, but it's there. Yeah, it holds. Okay, interesting, neat, fun. We will have to revisit using the crawfish soon, now that the seal is broken on. Although shellfish in the reason I like to buy frozen shellfish like that is because shellfish in the shell keeps really well. It's very resistant to freezer burn, so it keeps quite well. So a lot of what's taking up all the room in my freezer is actually various shellfish. So okay, we're making a thing here. Ooh boy, this is taking a turn. Okay, they need to get nestled in so they can thaw. They're already cooked, but they need to be thawed out through the middle to be edible. Once again, when we started, this is not at all where I thought we were taking this. I've already diced up the haddock, so that's all going to go in as well. That has largely finished thawing, just sitting on the countertop. And then as soon as it is cooked, we'll be serving, because that's the last item that's going to need to cook is the chunks of fish here. Okay. Good deal. We reduced the burden on my freezer, which will give me some room to put more stuff in my freezer. Because I can't help myself. We really should be focusing on using things out of the freezer, especially older things. We're not using the shrimp paste. We used the tomato bouillon. We actually ended up using the andouille sausage, which I wasn't expecting either. Get that bagged up. Put away our odds, our ends. Put away that extra onion. We can put away the turnip. And the other half of the bell pepper is going to want to go in a baggie. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I need to let those fish chunks cook. And tidying up as much as I can work out now. Didn't use the giant daikon radish, but that's fine. Okay. Let me wipe down my table. Oh, I know. I need to clear my I need to clear the camera station. The camera station is a bit cluttered with eggplants and squashes and tomatoes. Oh my god. Oh, and tomorrow I'm going to be drowning in even more tomatoes. Tomato season is upon us, and they're being forced upon me. Here, I'll bring it back for everyone who missed at the beginning. This thing. This was my initial idea, was crack this guy open and see what he's like on the inside, because this is some kind of crossbreed squash. Well, it's going to remain a mystery crossbreed squash forever because it resisted this knife. And then I thought, okay, I'll get a saw and I'll go at it with the saw blade knife, and it resisted my saw blade knife as well. It's It's rock hard. It's too hard to even cut into. There was my attempt at cutting it. There's a little slash at the bottom. It's so hard that it defeated me. That was the original idea. I was going to cut into this and see what I could make of it. Now I guess it's just going to be decorative, and since I scratched the bottom, it's going to be decorative for not very long because I've broken its watertight seal. So, Andalusian gazpacho. What makes that different from other kinds of gazpacho? Andalusian gazpacho. Bell pepper, red onion. Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. We might do it. That looks pretty good. Epicurious has a recipe for it. Although if you click on Epicurious' recipe, they'll be like, stop blocking my ads. Back over to our stovetop. Our fish chunks, the parts that are sticking out are not cooked, but if you flip them over, or we push them down, but I'm going to flip some of them over. I've got chopsticks, that's the idea. Honestly, I haven't seen what their ads are like. I started ad blocking when that, depending how old you are, you might not even remember, when that big rash of autoplay video ads took over, like, most of the internet. That was when I installed the ad blocker, because those autoplay video ads were just an absolute plague. And I've left my ad blocker in place since then and have gradually unblocked sites I want to support, which is not how they want it to work, of course, but when everybody on the whole of the internet decided to run those autoplay video ads, they betrayed my trust, and now there's a whitelist instead of a blacklist. So honestly, the ads probably are fine, but I don't trust them, especially when I'm live. I don't want something to play on one of those sites. I don't want to run the risk of opening a page for a recipe and having it play an ad through my stream. That probably runs afoul of some Twitch rule or something. So we're going to stir it, gently stir it, to kind of get the fish chunks mixed in. Get them nice and immersed. Our stew needs something green. So yeah, I know, as somebody who actually earns from ad revenue, it's a bit of a hypocrisy to also block ads, but frankly, I understand how obtrusive some of the ads are. And my advice there, my stance is, if you legitimately want to support a website, whitelist them for your ad blocker so that their ads can play and you can support them. And if you don't want to support someone, then block them. That way people are actually encouraged to make their services worth using, instead of it just being, oh, you clicked on me, Now I get ad revenue. Something green. That needs something green. There's some parsley in here, but it was in here before I left, so we're gonna take a peek at it. We might cut a green onion. Oh, that's right. You're much more of a computer expert than I am. I'm on the reasonably educated user side of things. Not so much the inner workings side of things. The parsley is going a little bit yellow, so I had to pick through it. But we got some nice green ones out of the mix. We're gonna sacrifice our stems this time because I did not add them to the sofrito. So what I could have done, what you can do, the parsley stems are edible and actually very flavorful. They're just a bit tough compared to the leaves. If you know you're going to add parsley to something, back when we were making the sofrito stage, if I had thought ahead, if I had had a plan at all, I could have added our parsley stems to that sofrito to infuse their parsley flavor from the very beginning and have them all nice and softened up by the time we got this far. But I wouldn't want to add the stems to our soup at this point because they would still be stringy when we got to eating. I think that the soup part is pretty much done. I'm going to grab a green onion from our garden. Oh my, the weather's gotten incredibly nice out here. We're going to add green onion and parsley as a finishing sort of green element here. And I will just, see, what angle am I on? The wrong angle again. I keep forgetting to switch angles. If only my moderator had that power. I want both green things in here. And I think we're going to take it off the heat and then add these in so they only wilt a bit. They don't need to really be boiled in at this stage. We're coming down to what I'm calling the wrap-up phase as well. Our fish is cooked. I have to assume that the crayfish are thawed to the middle by now. They're not very big, and that water is literally boiling hot. We're gonna serve it on the white plate. Wow, this camera is just having a blowout day today. Well, it'll look better on my other camera when that's not intensely blown out at all times. Get all that green stuff in there. Give us one last stir around. To get it all incorporated. Our soup is thickened, but not like porridgey. It's still liquid. So I guess that means we're serving it. I'm going to bring the plate to it rather than it to the plate. See, it always looks better with those little green things in there. A little bit of green stuff really makes your plate look fancy. Get some good scoops of that. And some of our larger and prettier looking crayfish. Does that one have both of his hands? The hands fall off of them a lot, so getting one with both of the hands is good for the decorative plating. Like that guy, he's got no hands. Okay, okay. We're gonna need to clean that dribble up on the side. So we kind of made a crawfish boil, but turned it into a soup. Or a stew, because it's chunky, it's got potatoes in it, but the crawfish is it's not just a big pile of crawfish. A crawfish boil is typically a big pile of crawfish with some accessories. This is where's that chopsticks? Where to put those chopsticks? For plating, I want to get a few pieces. Get a piece of andouille out where you can see it. There, okay. Set of chopsticks, handy for carefully arranging things. It does look good, doesn't it? It's very colorful. It's very bright, very vibrant. It smells great. This is one of those ones where I wish I could give the smell to you through the camera, because it's got a really rich smell. It's very smoky. Yeah, and that's basically what it looks like. It should be a self-contained meal too, so I'm not going to add any other accoutrements to it. Let's go around and take our photos, take our glamour shots, plug in my photo taking light and find my camera. Where did I put that? Oh yeah, I got some photos of some foods because I was away for the weekend. I got some photos of some foods from the weekend as well that I have neglected to put on Instagram, but I will put those up. Okay. And now, everyone's favorite part, my favorite part. The whole thing is my favorite part. I love doing this, but everyone's favorite part about cooking, the tasting. These guys look very pretty and they take up a lot of the plate, but there's not a lot of meat per crawfish. If you've never seen how to eat one of these guys, you grab them. Oop. Well, he's definitely thawed because he's blistering hot. You grab them and you break them off. Very hot. And you break them off like that. And then you grab this piece of meat that's sticking out of the tail. with your teeth. And yeah, we kind of pull it out. We're going to snooze the ad because I'm in the middle of tasting. And you kind of pull it out with your teeth, and you get this little nugget of meat on the end. And then you got a shell here that's empty. And you don't throw the shells away. You save them to make stock. Mmm. Mmm. Crawfish. And then there's a lot of flavorful juices in the rest of the critter here, which is great for a soup like this, but unlike a lobster, there's not a lot of, they're so skinny you can't really get any bits of meat out of there. So you just give them sort of a suck for flavor and then set the shell aside. So you don't get much out of them because it's a lot of shell. That's pretty tasty, but that just tastes like crawfish because it was all contained in its shell. Let's try this. We want a bit of our sofrito, a potato, a piece of our fish, and a piece of our sausage. A little bit of shell. The shells are hard but not sharp, so they won't like hurt you when you bite them. They're just kind of crunchy, and then you pull them out of your mouth. First of all, it's hot. It's real rich. It's got a really, wow. If I push everything aside and just get a scoop of this broth, it's extremely savory. It's rich and unctuous. Ooh, it's actually a little bit too much by itself. It really needs the potato to balance it out. Of course, the potatoes are cooked in it, so the potatoes have soaked up a lot of that flavor as well. The haddock is firm. It wasn't in there very long, so it actually hasn't soaked up as much of the flavor. So it retains its own distinct sort of neutral whitefish flavor, which is a good thing to have more of a contrast in this instead of it all just being stewed together. Cooking that sofrito as long as we did really merged all its flavors together very thoroughly. Got a leg on that one. So I would say, if you're doing this, maybe don't go for the whole crawfish because they're shedding a few little bits of legs. Not that they're hard to pick out, but if I was at a restaurant and I found a bunch of loose legs in my stew, I'd probably be unhappy. The flavor profile, especially with the andouille, with a bite of andouille in there, the flavor profile is very much like that of a gumbo, but without the rice. In fact, we could probably stand a little bit more potato than I have. I think our balance is off a little bit with the starches. Normally, we'd have a bunch of rice, and that's the balancing element. So what we've made here is a very intensely flavored gumbo stew, and then not diluted it with a bunch of starch. So we're just maintaining this really intense flavor. It's real tasty. It's real tasty. And I'm real hungry. I did not eat a proper lunch today, so I'm real extra hungry. So I'm probably going to polish off 2 bowls of this today. Gosh, this is I've said it 3 times before, and I'm going to say it now again. This is entirely not what I expected us to land on when I started today. I suppose that is the curse of head, or perhaps the gift of head empty cooking. You don't know where you're going until you get there. We ended up without roast squash or spaghetti, which were 2 things that I thought I was sure going to get in there. It was fun. I don't think we took any really big, like, stabs in the dark. These are all flavors that I know and understand, and they kind of work together and build together. So we weren't head empty cooking and then also exploring the unknown. We were just head empty cooking in a comfortable backyard. It's real good. You know what would be perfect with this, actually, is a big piece of bread. Just a piece of bread on the side to sort of sop up the juices. I actually have bread here. That's what's going to be the accompaniment with it. It's just a big piece of bread. Because the juices are so rich and flavorful. I'd hate for them to go to waste at all. Well, golly. I guess we're going to wrap up here. It's been about 2 hours. Yeah, it's just been just over 2 hours. So I'm going to rate us off so I can enjoy this while it is still nice and hot. Although I bet you it's going to taste even better. The leftovers are going to taste even better tomorrow because it's one of those things. It's one of those stews where the flavors continue to develop as it rests. Where are we going today? Oh my God. Copy Jen's raid message. Or make up your own. I don't care. I don't have a formalized raid message. Who's on today? I don't even know who's on at this time of day. Ever's still on. Is he going to stay on? Mute. Let's go check him out. See if he's going to stay on. I'm not sure. Let's see. George is absent. Barry's playing Sea of Stars. Tell you what. George raided us at some point in a while. I'm going to raid George back. George Hot Sauce is also cooking, and his title says Raid the Fridge Tuesday, which is exactly what we did. So perfect fitting. I don't know what he's making. He's not actually on camera right now. So I guess we'll find out. I don't often get to raid over to other cooking streams. George raided me at some point, and I put him in my follows list. So we're going to go check that out. We're going to go find out what's happening over there. And tell them all about what was happening over here. And I'm going to eat this delicious Oh my God. It's very good. I would serve this to people. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for showing up. Thanks to Jen for volunteering to moderate. I haven't had a moderator. I hopefully don't need a moderator. Hopefully Jen just gets to sit back and do nothing from now on. But I appreciate the volunteer either way. Yeah, my schedule is still in a little bit of a flux. But I hope to be streaming more in September to take advantage of September. Although I need to nail down an actual schedule, so stay tuned, I guess. Bye.